What is going on, my friends, and welcome back to another video here on the channel. Well, Swee's price is giving us some very good signs and some very bullish signals right now that I don't really see anyone else talking about, but I want to share with you. And so with that said, let's not waste any more time at all, and let's get straight into the video. And guys, don't forget, if you do want to start trading on up to 500x leverage on things like Bitcoin, Solana, Sui, Pepe, and many more, you can check out that BTCC link down below. If you sign up to BTCC specifically using my link, they're going to give you a 10% bonus on your first time deposit between $500 and $100,000. This means if you deposit, say, $3,000, they're going to give you $300 right then on the spot to start trading with. And whatever profit you make from that is completely yours, no strings attached. You can reinvest it, withdraw it, do whatever you want with it. It's a great opportunity to make literally free gains during the bull market. So if that is something that interests you, go check out that platform down below. It's a great trading platform. I use it all the time myself, so feel free to check it out and let me know what you think. Now, before we talk about these bullish signs that we're seeing right here, I need to paint the picture a little bit for you by giving you the context of how we got here. So what we have been tracking from Sui recently has been how systematic this breakout has been, how systematic the breakout of this descending channel has been. Because you all know that I'm a huge advocate for looking for things to be systematic. And systematic just means a crypto is doing what it's supposed to do. As simple as that. Because the moment cryptos start doing things that are a little bit out of the ordinary or unusual, that's not a good sign. I mean, emotional investor sentiment is all over the place. Emotions are flying, liquidations are flying. It's just not a good thing. We want to see systematicness. We want it to almost be robotic. Boom, boom, back to here, up to there, back to there, up to there. That's what you're looking for. And that's exactly what we're getting from Sui. And now let me kind of give you a bit of context as to what I mean. So what we can see here is that Sui's price, again, had that descending channel. We did some purchasing in the descending channel because history says that this is the best time to be buying cryptos. From there, we saw a breakout of the descending channel. It came all the way back down systematically, giving us an A, B, C correction to the downside, a three wave at least. On that third wave to the downside, we back tested and held support. Not only was it support on the descending channel, but it was also in this little micro golden zone, as you can see, right? We hit the little micro golden zone. We used that micro golden zone to start making our move towards the upside, giving us the third and fifth wave of the five wave, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the third and fifth wave, all the way up towards the top side. As we started to see Sui's price reverse back towards the downside, we laid out the bottom side Fibonacci. We said this is the level that needs to hold a support to continue us upwards. Sui's price came all the way back down to the golden zone. We used that golden zone to continue upwards. As it did start going upwards, I told you, hey, listen, we need to clear the golden box. If we can clear the top side golden box, that puts us in a spot now to where we could see Sui's price hit 488 to 541. And what do you know? Sui literally pushes straight up through the top side golden zone, clears that previous high, and pushes up directly to our very first breakout target of $4.88. This thing has been just about as systematic as you possibly can get, and we've been ahead of this every single step of the way. So first and foremost, shout out to all of you who are doing your purchases in here, who are doing your purchases in the golden zone also, and a little bit on the back test. These were the three major levels that I laid out to be doing some purchasing over the last few weeks, and all of them are up substantially. So shout out to you. But now that you have a good understanding of how we got here and what we're looking at, which is the systematicness, I don't know if that's a word, but it's going to be today, of how Sui's price has been moving, let's talk about what we're seeing right now. Because remember, I told you in the beginning of the video, we're getting very bullish signs, and this has something to do with just how systematic the back test that we just saw was, which I'll share with you in a second. So again, now that we've seen the recap, let's move forward into the next portion of the video where we go over what's happening right now. And look, I will give you a little bit of a warning as we go into the next portion of the video that things may get a little bit complicated here, especially if you are a little new or if you're more advanced, but you're just trying to add some of these tools to your toolbox. And so all that I suggest and all that I will tell you, if you are someone who's trying to get better at this whole crypto thing and these things get a little complicated or confusing, is just to stick around to the end of the video. At the end of the video, we'll have gone through things much more thoroughly, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about the Discord community that we are seeing people generating hundreds of percentages and gains in every single day as a result of all the workshops, live streams, classes, and more. So again, if you're one of those people who's just trying to get better at this whole crypto thing, all that I ask from you, just stick around until the end of the video. So as I mentioned before, now that you know how we got here, let's talk about what's happening at this point now. So what we can see is that yes, Sui's price hit our first breakout target pretty much on the money. And I told you on yesterday's video, hey, listen, there may be an opportunity here for Sui to start pulling back. And don't be surprised if you see it pull back a little bit. But at the end of the day, the door up towards $5.40 is now wide open. It's not really a matter of if, in my opinion, it's a matter of when. When do we hit $5.40? Not if we hit it, because it seems like we're going to. But the route we take to get there could be a little bit different. But what I told you all, and what we always do here, is that after we see a crypto hit its Fibonacci extension levels, we need to see something. We really need to see something. And what that something is the bulls step in when we need them to. Because quite frankly, if you have a Fibonacci extension level up here, right, and your crypto works your way all the way up to it, this is the breakout target. This is the assumed zone for taking profits. This is when many of the bulls are going to take profits and, pull back a little bit, right? But what we want to see is that even if that is the case and they start pulling back, that this isn't the end of the long-term macro move, that this isn't the end of the move in general. What we want to see is that this thing comes back to some of these key levels of support, hits them, and then the bulls start stepping in again, that they're willing to continue this move to the top side. And then of course we see that support, and then we try to continue upwards. Because you remember the goal here on the channel, our goal is long-term sustainable growth. That's all we ever really look for. And in order for us to get long-term sustainable growth, we do need pullbacks. Don't get me wrong, you need to see pullbacks like this, but even more, you need to see the bulls willing to step in as we come back off of these key levels and hit support zones. If we're capable of doing that, it's a good sign that we will eventually see some sort of breakout upwards and a continuation. This is exactly what we're seeing now from SWE. What you can see is that SWE's price hit that 1.272 Fibonacci extension level and has now worked itself all the way back down. And I want you to pay very close attention to what happened. As SWE's price was pulling back, it came down directly to that previous high that we had put in right back here, right around $4.50, a strong psychological level. And now using that key level of support, SWE has now actually worked itself all the way back up nearly towards this previous high that we put in, further establishing that this was a resistance to support flip, and we did get this successful RS flip here. Now, does this mean that SWE's price is going to just immediately do this? No, it doesn't. Is it possible? Yeah, I would say there's a 40-50% chance. I think we're probably looking at a coin flip, honestly, that we do see SWE's price break up here because how successful this support was. Not only did we see that support hold right there, but if we do pull up our RSI, we do have enough room here on the 4 hour to do it. If you look at your 1 hour RSI, we did get a full reset back to the 50% threshold, and we're still not overextended by any means. So SWE's price pushing up through this level and being able to continue higher is very possible. Again, I'd say about a 50% chance. Now, realistically, what I do have to say is that clearing these Fibonacci extension levels is not easy. And is this little bitty pullback and bounce right here going to be enough of a support establishment to clear this? I don't really know. And that's why I believe that it might be a 50% chance that we break it here. Maybe it's more likely, maybe there's a just as good chance that we go sideways for a little while. Or maybe we just get it over with faster and we come back to the golden zone and try to flip this major point of resistance into support as well. This would be ideal. If I was going to ask for something to happen, I would want this to happen, because the likelihood is that once we got a move like this, we would really be able to start pushing $5 to, $5.50 to $5.60 really, really quickly, I would say. And so because of that, kind of where I am right now is that although, there are different outcomes and it might do this or it might do this or it might do this or whatever, it's not really the point. I think you've come to realize the whole goal in doing technical analysis is not trying to just assume what this exact next move is going to be. It's getting an understanding of what the signals and what the signs are showing us that'll happen in the grand scheme of things. Because as long as you have a good vision for where SWE's price very well may be going in the grand scheme, what happens in the short term doesn't matter as long as you properly manage your risk, right? And so what I mean by that is if we're saying now, well, SWE is very likely going to start trying to push up towards 540 because we're seeing the bull stepping in at these key levels of support. And so even if its price does hold support and go up, if it continues to build support and goes up, or comes back down here then goes up, it doesn't really matter. What this means to me is that, well, I can do a little bit of purchasing here. I can either enter in on a spot bag if I wanted to. Maybe I want to put a stop loss down here. I can set in a leverage trade with very, very low leverage, super low leverage, with maybe some stop losses set down here as well, so that I have some room to work if it does pull back a little bit. Or, quite simply, I can just allow this to play out and start getting ready to take some profits. But one way or another, if we know that, or we have a good feeling that SWE's price is going to reach some of these higher levels at some point, what happens to get there is really it's rather unimportant. You know what I mean? It's rather unimportant. And so because of that, my purpose of today's video is not trying to tell you, hey, what's going to exactly happen next. It's to tell you what's very likely to happen in the midterm. So not so much how we're going to get there, but where we're likely going. Because what this means to me is, okay, well, if SWE's price does dip again, I'm going to do a little bit of buying. If it comes back down to this level, I'll buy a little bit here. If it falls through that, I'll buy a little bit here. Both of which are going to be pretty decent sized purchases, but not huge purchases. And I'm just going to let it ride because I believe we're heading our way up here. And while we're right here, I'm probably not going to be doing much buying because I did do some purchasing on the last few days. I did do some purchasing in the last few dips, and I'm just going to let it ride out towards the upside. So it's really a win-win situation. If we go up here, great, we won. If it pulls back a little bit and we get some purchases in, and then it goes up here, which is what these signals are showing us is very likely to happen, great, we won. So I'm not really all too concerned. And sure, I may be wrong and we may get invalidated. I'm not going to say it's a 100% chance that we go up here, but I'd say it's a 70% chance. Obviously, sure, if we start coming through all these golden levels and we get invalidated and then we go into a macro bear market, well, sure, I'm going to be wrong. That's why we have been taking profits along the way upwards. But this just doesn't feel likely to me. I mean, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but I just don't envision that we're going to see 60, 70% sell-offs in the middle of this bull market because, quite frankly, that's just not what usually happens, especially not after we just had a macro pullback of 30% there and then another one of roughly 25% there. And so for me, sure, I may get invalidated, I may be wrong, and we may just capitulate, drop 60-70%, and then that's just going to be that. Oh well, I guess. I just don't see it happening. And so because of that, whether we do this doesn't really matter to me. It does feel to me as if Swedes price is going to be able to continue upwards here, which I think is a great sign. So I just wanted to share that with you all today, kind of let you know what I'm seeing, what I'm thinking, and what I'm feeling. And I'd love to hear your thoughts down below because obviously, guys, the things that I'm saying are subjective. They're not 100% objective, obviously. So I'd love to see your interpretations of what we're seeing here, but I do think this is a great bullish signal. And tomorrow, I'm actually going to go a little bit deeper on our indicators, show you what's happening with the RSI, MACD, and many more that kind of back up what I'm saying even more. So do stay tuned for that and watch what we do very closely here because it will be very determining of where we go in the next couple of days or couple of weeks. So of course I'll keep you updated every single day on what's going on, but do start watching this very closely because the bullish signals flashing could lead to a rather fast move rather quickly. Now, if you're someone who's just trying to get better at this whole crypto thing, I highly recommend you joining the Discord server. Okay, guys, in the Discord server, what you're going to get are insights with Tyler, which are my thoughts and insights, some of the things that I'm buying and selling, some moves I'm making, my portfolio, and much more. For example, on the 9th, in that huge dip, we were buying all of these different cryptos, and all of them are up 20 to 30% now. We have exclusive live shows every single day. We have daily technical analysis reports that get released on the same cryptos I make videos about, daily fundamental analysis reports on the market itself. I have 2 teams of professional traders who post their buy and sell alerts every single day, and you need to think, these are people who live off of trading. These are professional trade teams, and they're giving you their buy and sell signals, which is absolutely insane. We have premium classes on things like bull market investing, the Fibonacci's, the Bollinger Bands. We have beginners courses on things like leverage trading and technical analysis for beginners, and many more of these releasing. These are 30-minute long, 20-page presentation, vocabulary sheet, cheat sheet presentation. I mean, we got so much going on in these technical analysis and leverage trading for beginners courses. You got to check those out. We have these 2 to 3 minute long videos called Tips with Tyler, where we just go over random stuff, and you can pause it to see what sort of videos there are there. And all these things combined are generating the community hundreds of percentages and gains every single day, quite simply because people are using these lessons to turn them into strategies, taking those strategies and turning them into real life profits and gains. Look at this guy yesterday, putting in multiple trades at over 100% gains on ICP. Absolutely insane stuff. So if you do want access to this, head down to the Patreon link down below, guys. It's the cost of a Netflix subscription or cheaper. It's either $17 a month or $5 a month. And I think that is a crazy good deal. And we actually have one more tier up releasing on Monday. So do stay tuned for that. But go feel free to check that out down below. I do think it's a very, very good deal. And it has clearly helped hundreds of people elevate. We're currently at 729 members just in the last month. So if you do want to join that, check that link out down below. Don't forget, guys, we post 6, 7, 8 videos here on the channel every single day. So if you have been enjoying them, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and I can't wait to see you all in the next one. Peace out, everybody.